Hey friends, how are you? How's it going? In this episode, we're going to focus on this line graph. We're going to analyze it, and then we're going to have a sample answer. The sample answer has been written by Liz, and because it was so great, I decided to work on this sample answer. Okay, so the graph below shows the consumption of three spreads. So let's have a look at the line graph. So it might be frightening at the beginning, so it's really difficult to find an overview for this line graph, but let's have a closer look at this line graph. You can pause the video to see the line graph better, and after that you can resume the video to see how I analyze it. So first of all, let's decide how we can write an overview for this. So let's have the overall trend for the butter. So the overall trend is obviously a downward trend for butter, and this is the same for margarine. However, for low fat and reduced spread, we have an upward trend. So one sentence that we can write in our overview is that the figure for margarine and butter experienced a downward trend. However, low fat and reduced spreads witnessed an upward trend. So that's one thing we can write about. And another thing we can write about is that at the beginning of the period, butter was the spread which was consumed more, then it was replaced by margarine, and finally we had low fat and reduced spread. So we can add this sentence to the overview as well. Also, in terms of dividing the information into two body paragraphs, I would put butter and margarine in one body paragraph because they had decreasing trends. However, I put low fat and reduced spreads in the second body paragraph because the figure for it rose. And let's have a look at the key features of this line graph. I'm just going to highlight them. So you know that in the writing task 1, you're expected to summarize the information by selecting and reporting the key features. So you're not supposed to give us all the details. So for butter, I would just pick the first figure, the peak, and the final figure. For margarine, I would just keep the first one. I would say it fluctuated then, and I would give the final figure. And for low fat and reduced spreads, the beginning, the peak, and the end. So you see that these are the key features of this line graph. So obviously some figures like this are not key features. They can be ignored. We should be able to pick up the main features. Now let's have a look at the sample answer written by Liz, and I also share the sample answer in the caption, and I will share the link of her website. So in the introduction, we are expected to paraphrase the question. It said that the line graph illustrates the amount of three kinds of spread: margarine, low fat and reduced spreads, and butter, which were consumed over 26 years from 1981 to 2007. Units are measured in grams. So it's well written, it's paraphrased the question. And let's move on to the overview. I can say the most important paragraph in writing task 1. Overall, the consumption of margarine and butter decreased over the period, while for low fat and reduced spreads, it rose. So we see while for comparing these three categories. At the start of the period, butter was the most popular spread, which was replaced by margarine from 1991 to 2001, and following that, low fat and reduced spreads became the most widely used spread in the final year. So you see a very good range of vocabulary as well. Most popular spread, and we see most widely used spread. Great. So in the first body paragraph, you're expected to write about the butter and margarine. With regards to the amount of butter used, it began at around 140 grams and then peaked at 160 grams before falling dramatically to about 50 grams in the last year. So you see all the key features have been written in just one complex sentence. We have then, we have before, we have some useful language like falling dramatically. Likewise, you know that in the IELTS writing task 1, you're expected to make comparison where relevant. So we have a comparison using this link here. Likewise, approximately 90 grams of margarine was eaten in the first year, after which the figure fluctuated slightly and dropped to a low of 40 grams in 2007. So again, we see a very good range of vocabulary, to the point, some useful grammar like after which. In the final paragraph, we start with a link here. On the other hand, again, it shows comparison. The consumption of low fats and reduced spreads only started in 1996 at about 10 grams. This figure, which reached a high of just over 80 grams 5 years later. I like it. Instead of saying the exact year, we say 5 years later, fell slightly in the final years to approximately 7 grams in 2007. So you see, this essay is well written in terms of task achievement. We see a clear overview, we see key features selected well, very logical paragraphing, and enough range of vocabulary and grammar. So this sample answer is likely to get a 9. And as I said, I will share the sample answer in the caption and also the link of the Liz website, because she has written this sample answer. So write in the comment section below that what you think about this sample answer.